Guys, it's Crazed Porcupine here, and we've got some devastating news following the events of the February 1st video and FAQ article. For those of you who haven't read the article or viewed the video, we've got a brief TLDR. Competitive Legends of Runeterra is pretty much completely dead. Ranked queues it seems will be staying, but the ranked rewards will be getting turned off. No icons, nothing of that sort. Gauntlets and tournaments are also done. Any further Runeterra opens that are scheduled, such as the one for February, may still occur. Same thing with the one in March. However, any further tournaments and opens will not occur. There will be no open World's Championship at the end of this year. Path of Champions is getting its long-awaited Freljord region, with Lysandra being the next boss. New Path of Champion mode is coming that will able to enhance champions up to 6 stars. All promised rewards and events are still going to happen. This means the Invitational will be happening later this week, and the World Champ related cards are still going to be getting made and put into the game. Riot will not move Legends of Runeterra to the standard CCG monetization model by making cards harder to obtain, and will continue to seek other monetization options. Despite community thoughts, Riot has attempted to give Legends of Runeterra as much support as was financially feasible to make the game profitable. Ads and cosmetics just simply did not provide enough payoff compared to the costs to create as needed to support the game. Patch notes will still be occurring whenever patches release. However, the patch cadence will no longer be following the 4-week pattern that we've had recently. And then, since the FAQ and video release, we have gotten a little bit more news and updates on what will be happening. New cards will be getting focused entirely on Path of Champions rather than PvP. New champions will also be made exclusively for Path of Champions rather than PvP. And follow-up to those releases will decide on whether or not any of those cards or champions will be able to be shifted into the PvP environment. We will still get the upcoming Variety and Set release coming at the end of February and the end of March, so we do still have at least 2 months of what we're used to. We will be getting a number of quality of life updates for PvE over the coming year. They are looking at ways to accelerate or skip longer animations in the Path of Champions that eat up a lot of time. These include animations for Nami's Ebb and Flow, Jinx's Rockets, and other champions that have extra long effects that can eat up time during the Path of Champions. Co-op Path of Champions is still a goal that Riot would like to implement into Legends of Runeterra, but it has been put on the back burner in favor of development of other, more important aspects of Path of Champions that will likely result in a bigger return on investment. Story-based campaigns will be making their return, with some champions having more and other champions having less. The example they gave was Elder Dragon, likely to have maybe 1, possibly 2 story-based campaigns, simply because the Elder Dragon doesn't talk. They're a monster, so there's not really a good way to create a story for them. Battle passes will continue, and they'll still have rewards, but the rewards will be more skewed towards the Path of Champions aspects. These will be things like shards, vaults, reliquaries, and stardust, instead of chests and individual cards. There will be a revamp of the PvE leaderboards and ways to compete against other players. However, there is no set frame for when this will occur or what it might look like. Again, all future champions are going to be designed for Path of Champions first and PvP second. Customization options for starting decks are not planned, but suggestions are open for ideas that could be easy to implement. Nodes that allow card swaps instead of just additions or cuts are likely to be implemented into Path of Champions. And then we do also know that rotation will still happen in March, and more rotations will continue to happen at an unknown cadence. Overall, there is a lot going on, and it looks to be really good overall for Path of Champions, focused players, and content creators. As for what I'll be doing here with Ornn's Kitchen, I'll be sticking around for at least the rest of February and March with the Variety Patch and Rotation, and the next set that's releasing. Because there will still be updates with the focus on PvP during that time, and drastic shakeups, I'll still make at least 7 more episodes of the podcast. With the focus on casual, I won't focus on the top 5 most popular decks for the week, and instead focus on the least played decks that have at least a 50% win rate. This will allow me, as a spicy and janky deck brewer, to bring you guys content that is better suited for the environment. It will allow me to focus on decks that are successful and may not be the most popular options, but will still be a positive way to play the game and still win against other players. I will also still be continuing to create the spicy brews that I bring to you at the end of each podcast, because for me, I have always been a deck builder and a deck brewer. I played Magic the Gathering for over a decade, and my primary focus was finding unique ways to build decks and ways to enjoy the underutilized and the underdog cards that were released in sets. And Legends of Runeterra has been absolutely wonderful from a deck builder's perspective. It has all the tools necessary to be able to freely brew and build decks and create unique archetypes and interesting options for how to combine champions and regions. And so I will be continuing with that, because that is what Legends of Runeterra meant to me as a game, and I'm never going to leave that behind. And so with that, I am going to go ahead and bring this week's episode to a close. I am skipping all other sections of the Ornn's Kitchen this week. Again, the news has just been really hard. Play rates are down overall, and the meta has just been really stale. Again, there is the patch this week, and there will be a lot of shakeup from that. And so next week we'll have a lot more to talk about. And we'll see what else happens during that time. What happens from the Invitational, what sort of news we get from Grappler, Marshall, Sunny, Majin, Bay, and other content creators that are coming out to that event. And so thank you all for at least entertaining this podcast and at least giving it a try. I know there aren't a lot of you right now, but I appreciate you guys that have given me a choice and a chance. And I hope that we can stick around and keep Legends of Runeterra alive, and we'll be able to enjoy it for years to come. So thanks again, and we'll see you next week.